Thank you, Carl. Hi, John. Welcome back.
All right, nice to be back.
So, how are you feeling today? Okay?
I'm good, good. Yeah, let's get this thing rolling.
So, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I was thinking something to educate these fine viewers at home on how to have a great, healthy life. What do you think?
I have a question for you.
All right, ask away.
So, what are the ingredients to be successful
What are the
in your life?
All right. What are the ingredients to be successful in your life? Well, it's kind of a neat question. I like the way you kind of threw it, ingredients, because in reality, ingredients means it's not one thing. It's a lot of things that are needed to be successful. Sort of like baking bread. You need all these different ingredients with the right directions, and you apply it all and then you get bread. So there is a way of being successful. And I think, it's not just one thing. I mean, we could say motivation, we could say support, we could say encouragement. We could say, obviously knowledge, all of these things. But I actually have a view, and I think the most important thing to be successful is really what it comes down to. It is value, personal value in one's own life.
What do you mean by value?
Value. Well, I'll give you an example. Let's see. Value. All right. So I just happen to have 20 euros on me. So what is this worth?
20 euros.
So that has value, and obviously to you it has value as well. But if I gave this 20 euros to someone in a third world country, do you think it has the same value?
No.
It would be much more increased. So value is something that, that we look at, and we put a value or a price tag on it, or we put an importance on it as it pertains to our life. Now, value is something, for example, where you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I'm worth something. A lot of people don't actually have that. They say, well, to me, my kids mean something, or my husband means something, or my home is something, or my business is something, or how people see me in public, or how people see me as a human being, that to them has value. But when it comes to, creating success in your own lifestyle and the way you live your life and the health and the wellness and all of these things and confidence that a person needs to have, you've got to value your own life. You've got to value it above everyone else. Now, some people call that selfish. They say, well, no. I mean, it's important that I raise my children right and that I'm there for my husband. It's true. It is very, very true that you should do those things. But when it comes right down to it, especially if it's the woman of the household, I mean, if she doesn't value herself more than everyone else, and she gives to everyone as much as she possibly can, to her children, to her husband, to her parents, her siblings, her job, her home, and she gives all of these things in this huge abundance because she values them so much more than her own self, what happens when she gets sick? What happens to all those things that she's taking care of? What happens to them? They all fall. So, if we value ourselves highly, we do what's right. So then it becomes kind of easy, to say to someone, listen, you want a healthy life? Well, eating pizza every single day, or smoking a pack of cigarettes every day, drinking a bottle of wine every day, going to McDonald's every single day, never exercising or doing these things, it tends to say that you don't value your life or the health of your life all that much, because you're putting things that can harm you more importance than the things that are beneficial for you.
So, value means loving yourself, really?
It really does. I mean, if you said to a mother, listen, your child is hurt right now, they need you, what will you do? They drop everything and go. If someone says, all right, well, listen, drop the household, drop the washing, drop the dishes, don't worry about driving the kids, God knows wherever they want to go. Value yourself enough and get to the gym and go for, a 45-minute walk and do some exercise. Yeah, but what for? I don't see the relevance of that. Well, the relevance is that it makes you healthy. It makes you give yourself more time. You're focusing on yourself to make your own self, valued, that you count. You're making your life better. And in that respect, a better you is a better everyone. It's so important. And people forget about this, I see people every day, and they have a cat or a dog and they make sure that dog's fed. I see some, they make sure their dog is clothed. They've got these outfits,
So how can you teach people to love themselves?
Well, see, this is the thing, because culture has really taught a lot of people to do the opposite, to invest, yeah, everyone else before you. And so we have to sort of go in and rewire your brain and make you realize that that person in the mirror is the most important. You know, if you're looking at the mirror at yourself and what you see is something that you're not happy with, you know, if you see someone that is ugly, fat, no good, you know, not able to do anything, can't accomplish anything, if you say negative things to yourself in the mirror, it is the first person that you need to readdress positive things towards, because those words, those things that you're pushing on yourself, just shows that you have no love for yourself. And it's odd that we're like that, because, you know, we love our children unconditionally. We'll give them anything and everything, regardless of how they look, or, you know, big, small, fat, thin, rich, poor. You know, you could have children that would do a heinous crime and you might not like what they do, but you never stop loving them. But when it comes to self, people look at themselves and they say, I'm no good, I'm not worth it. You know, I'm like that, you know, I'm nothing, I'm devalued. And then they don't feel motivated to do anything. And they find themselves slipping away in obscurity in life, getting fatter, you know, getting unhealthier, using food as a medium to make themselves feel a little bit better.
Most probably, sometimes when you live in a negative environment, it's not that easy.
Well, sometimes when you live in a negative environment, it is not that easy, but then it is the most important. It is the most important time to get up on top of yourself. I mean, no one wants to be, say, in a relationship where they're the one suppressed or pushed at the bottom, where not only they themselves don't feel valued, but those around them are devaluing them, making them feel worthless and useless.
So it's like fighting against
a system
yourself
sometimes and someone else. You know, it's funny. We did that thing with the money. You know, we'll do it again because I'll show you something. You know, sometimes people have this tendency to think that, you know, because of the life that they lived or the things that have happened to them, they may have been abused, they may have been bullied, they may have been hurt, stepped on, people call them names and so on and so forth. And they may think that that all leads to making them even less valuable. But you did say this had value, right? Would you take it for free if I gave it to you now?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's worth material.
Okay. So if I take this right now and do this to it, and crumple it up and abuse it and rip it down into nothing and make it as small as I possibly can, would you still take it?
Yes.
Why?
It still has the same value.
It still has the same value. And that's the thing that we have to remember, that we can't let anybody take our value away from us. Our value is always with us. It still has the same value. And sometimes maybe even has a little bit more. So, I mean, it's true, you know. I mean, in the very end of it all, if you don't love yourself and you don't respect yourself, you're setting yourself up for a very dangerous life. Because when you don't love and respect yourself, you start making all the wrong choices. You know, you start getting involved with the wrong people. You pick the wrong relationships. You do the wrong things. You know, you look for escape in the wrong areas. I mean, if you look at how many people have established a life trend when it comes to drugs or alcohol and things of that nature, you say, why? Because they're looking for what? They're looking for acceptance, they're looking for an escape. Why? Because they don't value themselves enough to think that they're worth it, that they could have a better life than what this is going to bring for them. So value's huge, you know, and it's true, it's not always easy to get, but it is like anything else. You just have to work at it and be focused on it. Wake up every single morning being thankful that you're alive and that you have, you know, air in your lungs, and the fact that you can breathe and smell and touch and see things from a positive perspective. And the most important part of that is it's your life, you know, and you can do so much with it, and don't let anybody take that away from you. So, I mean, if you want to establish value, you've got to see value in yourself first of all. And I think that's where, you know, maybe working at the mirror, you know, looking at yourself and seeing the positive, and establishing friendships and relationships with people around you that also encourage that thinking and believe in you. And if you find yourself in a position where you have somebody around you who's trying to take away your value and trying to rob you of your value and trying to take away that life that you have, it's funny, you know, our life is our life. I mean, we're born independent to anyone else. We decide to share our lives with other people. We decide to give of ourselves to other people, but that doesn't give anybody the right to take away your value. And if anyone is taking away your value or making you feel less, you have to discount that. You have to realize that that's somebody else's issues that's coming out on you, and to to look really within yourself and find your feet and find your legs and get back up and start fighting.
That's something that we have to work on every day.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't ever want to let it go. It is a very important thing. When you're 80 years old on your deathbed, you don't want to be sitting there with regrets and fears and saying to yourself, I've accomplished nothing. You want to be able to be in a position where you say, I've done everything I wanted to do because it's been my life. That doesn't mean you don't love those around you. It doesn't mean that you don't give to those around you. It doesn't mean that you love your children any less. As a matter of fact, it means you love them even more, because you are now going to be you're going to be the person that is instrumental in shaping their lives and helping them to understand value and love and self-respect, because you are going to do it. Actions speak louder than words, You've got to live it to be able to educate it.
Thank you, John. Our time is up.
All right.
We'll be back with another topic.
Another time.
And we'll see you then.